In the past decade, we've seen the demise of virtually every so-called ex-gay organization. Their backward methods have been debunked, their leaders have been discredited as charlatans or come out of the closet as openly gay. Despite such disasters, the ex-gay conversion industry hopes Americans have amnesia and will forget their monumental failure. They are rebranding as the Freedom March and taking their toxic message to Washington, D.C.
The Freedom March is set to kick off in Washington, D.C. on June the 5th, and the march will feature worship and the sharing of testimonies by men and women who left behind the homosexual, bisexual, and transgender lifestyle.
To counter the rebooting efforts, Jared Dixon, an author and conversion therapy survivor, joined me, Wayne Besson, Executive Director of Truth Wins Out, in Washington. Jeffrey McCall is the leader of the so-called Freedom March. Joined by his cult followers, they have descended upon the nation's capital to peddle their ex-gay snake oil.
It is a beautiful Saturday morning, June 5th, 2021. We are going to make our way to the Freedom March. They are just building their whole foundation off of lies. I'm also enraged because they're further traumatizing people, and it doesn't have to be this way. I hope they actually embody compassion and empathy for people who were harmed by these practices. I'm expecting to speak up and speak out.
Jared is speaking out so the world knows that ex-gay conversion programs are a dangerous lie. What they sell doesn't work and has left a long trail of victims and survivors.
Conversion therapy tried to ruin my life. It almost succeeded, but it didn't. So I feel very privileged to be in a position to advocate for survivors like myself who have gone through this therapy. The biggest takeaway is that this therapy is damaging, it's harmful, it tears apart families, it tears apart friendships and relationships, and these people are peddling lies to church leaders who believe that homosexuality is some kind of choice. This is not a choice, but operate in ignorance and bigotry is a choice. Harm people and castigate them because you disagree with who they are, that's a choice. And you make that choice every single day. Your choices are damaging people, they're damaging lives, they're ruining lives.
Hi, this is Wayne Besson, live from the, I say with quotes, ex-gay Freedom March. We are here to tell them that you can be happy as you are as an openly LGBT person. Now, these groups, if you listen to them, they're using shame and blame to get people to their programs. They are telling you that you're going to hell, that you're not good enough, that you're broken, but you're not broken. So you can't be fixed. You're not sick, so you cannot be healed. You don't have to destroy your life. You must love who you are to find self-acceptance and then live your truth if you truly want to be free. There's no freedom at the Freedom March.
So many people have gone through this therapy that they're advocating for. So many people have gone through this and they haven't survived. And being here today was really to honor their memory, to honor the people who went through this therapy and didn't make it. For as long as I live, I will honor their memory for the nameless and the faceless people who went through this therapy and didn't make it. I'm standing here today by God's grace because I tried to take my life 10 years ago and I survived. I have a problem with people saying that this is freedom and this is freeing. The data, the research has continuously shown the harmful effects of this therapy on individuals. High rates of depression, of anxiety, of PTSD, and other mental health challenges.
I have been involved in fighting conversion ex-gay therapy for decades. And I can tell you one thing, the people that are on stage today saying they have changed will soon be sitting down with me, conducting interviews, apologizing for the harm they caused, because this is destructive. People need to be who they are. They need to live authentically. They need, as we say at Truth Wins Out, to love themselves and live their truth.
This conversion therapy, it's been debunked by the American Psychological Association, the American Psychiatric Association. So I am here to tell these people who are freedom marching, you are actually ruining people's lives. We need to be better than this.
Every respected medical and mental health association in the entire world has condemned ex-gay conversion practices, yet the Freedom March is still promoting junk science and an abusive form of religion that demands people deny their true selves.
I believe the scriptures, and I believe that the scriptures written thousands of years ago said that, in the end times, in the last days, before Jesus returns, there would just be an onslaught of sin poured out. There would actually even be doctrines of demons. There's just a strong spiritual hold on this country to push the LGBTQ narrative, and it starts with pushing it on children.
Former ex-lesbian Yvette Cantu-Schneider explains that instead of liberty, the Freedom March brings pain, suffering, and self-loathing.
I think the Freedom March is exactly the opposite of freedom, because you're actually becoming imprisoned by expectations that other people have for you. And instead of being free to be who you are, you're being forced to be someone that you're not. I'm concerned about the Freedom March because we've seen this so many times before. I was involved in the movement for 20 years, and it never leads to anything good. I have seen this countless times over and over and over again, but no one ever changes, so it just becomes this burden that you're saddled with, trying to please people around you, try to be something you're not.
God should not be weaponized to destroy lives. And this is exactly what these people are doing. God is love. God is not hatred. God is not bigotry. Does God want people to live in a cloud of shame and fear for the rest of their lives? Is that God's will?
As a gay Christian who survived conversion therapy, Jared now attends an LGBTQ affirming church. He has a powerful and insightful message for those who are attending the Freedom March with the false hope that they can change.
I would say to the people who are going to the Freedom March who still have hope, you have to do the work to deconstruct your beliefs. And that work is not simple. That work is not pleasant. It's not something that you want to do. I get it. I had to do the work myself, and it was hard. It was painful. And unfortunately, some people are not going to understand you, and you have to decide for yourself, am I trying to be something that I'm not to appease people because I'm afraid of their judgment, or am I doing this because I truly believe deep down with every fiber in my being that this is who I am? That is my message for the people attending the Freedom March today.
Love yourself, live your truth,